Unprecedented, unlike anything we've ever seen. The perfect storm, extremely frustrating. These are just a few ways people in the building industry describe what's happening across the country right now. Tonight, NBC Montana's Marisa Giorgio is working for you to get to the bottom line on skyrocketing lumber prices.
Nearly everything you find inside these new homes costs remarkably more today than it would have 18 months ago.
There is not one stone unturned in this. There is hardly anything that you can put your hands on that isn't going to shock you at the price.
What's the problem?
It's a 100% supply and demand thing, driven, a lot by COVID.
I would love to see lumber prices return to where they were a year ago.
A wood products tracking firm blames tariffs for high lumber prices pre-COVID-19. The pandemic exacerbated it when mills slowed down, never quite catching up on production.
There is no Walmart lumber store where you just say, I'm going to go buy 16 of those and, sell them. It has to be produced. You have to get in line, and you have to wait for it to show up. And then there's another issue with transportation. You may order it. You may get it secured. Now you got to get it from the mill to here. And there's an extreme stress on transportation.
A University of Montana Bureau of Business and Economic Research report shows the average cost of lumber increased nearly 150% from the start of 2020 to September of that year, a record high, going even higher in 2021. The report also shows Montana lumber production dropped 10.8% in 2020 compared to 2019.
With the supply chain being stressed from both raw material shortages and workforce shortages, that is coupled with a high demand, has increasingly put pressure on the whole system.
If you think builders are happy about what's going on, think again. One builder told me there's no such thing as a simple build anymore because they're always getting hung up somewhere.
None of us like the increased costs. None of us like the conversation we have to have when it comes to the factors that are putting people's homes, $20 a square foot or more than they were last year. That's not a fun conversation. It's not something we want.
One builder told me a story about trusses that went up by 62% from the time they bid the project to the actual production time over about 8 months. It meant another $22,000 billed to the client just in framing materials.
And every time industry experts think the prices can't go higher, they do. A sheet of this last March would have cost about $10 to $11. Today, $56.
Mosted says those sheets are a litmus test for the whole industry.
We're seeing increases in PVC pricing, copper pricing, architectural shingle pricing, all the way down to some of the smaller things like plumbing increases.
All of that makes it impossible to give an accurate bid. Now, builders add price escalation clauses in case costs go up even more during the project.
The good news is that when we look at stuff like the materials having to change, it also changes the way we bid a project and the software we use to allow us to be more adaptable.
Add in an ongoing labor shortage, which one builder told me adds another month or two to each project. So what's the answer? Mosted says mills need to get back to capacity, hoping we round the corner more with COVID-19 restrictions and vaccinations. Also, time.
Something we're going to live with for a while, and hopefully when they get back to full production, we see the level off or we see an opportunity for that.
Just an extreme situation that is not healing itself anytime soon. So if you're unwilling to pay the prices where they are today, then you're just going to have to wait it out.
Person says what comes up must come down, and he says he thinks it will come down. It's just hard to say when. Reporting in Missoula, Marisa Giorgio, NBC Montana.